The Covenant follows John Kidney, Jake Gyllenhaal, a master sergeant stationed in Afghanistan. In Lashkar Gah, John observes his squad at a checkpoint. After a short confrontation with the truck driver, John loses two of his men. He recruits a new Echo, Stephen Kersher, Bobby Schofield, and an interpreter, Ahmed, Dar Salim. After the intel provided by Head Orpheus provides false, John begins to do things his own way. Arriving at a mine from his intel, John's squad ends up being killed, leaving only Ahmed and himself to fend for themselves. Trying to rest, they are attacked, giving John a concussion in the process. Ahmed takes it upon himself to traverse the heat of the land, carrying John to safety, all while being hunted by the Taliban. Once John is rescued, Ahmed is now in hiding. Feeling guilty, John returns in order for the system to keep their word in giving Ahmed and his family visas. The Covenant is a beautiful movie with a lot of intense action and an inspiring tale about the lengths our heroes go to help one another and those they care about. What this movie did well was provide a well structured story full of tension while also being thrilling. Whether cinematography, music, and acting blended together to give us that tension and well structured story. From the opening image, you know what the movie's about. Providing context with the intensity of the current situation, we see what the soldiers are up against. In short, we are prepared to see a war movie. However, this is more than just a war movie. This movie is about the strong bond between two people who will do anything for both survival and for their families. In terms of structure, I'll go over this briefly since I don't want this video to be long. This movie follows each beat very well. For example, John's catalyst is when he's told to find the locations of the IEDs his own way, and is given intel of a vetted target. Break into two is when they arrive at the mine. Fun and games is after John loses his men, until the midpoint. John is rescued, and so on and so forth. And no, the loss of his squad is not the catalyst, because structurally, the debate happens after the catalyst. And typically, the protagonist debates whether or not to enter this new world given to him or her during the catalyst. But John has already entered the new world, from being a hunter to being hunted. This is what leads to the fun and games. Two men hunted down by the Taliban while traversing the desert to safety. During our exposition or setup, we get to see the differences between the two heroes. John is in base camp talking to his wife and kids, while Ahmed goes back to his house, having to check his surroundings cautiously in case anyone is spying on him. We see both their living situations and come to understand their actions later on in the movie. To further this, we are given important information that will drive the story forward through the characters' actions. Ahmed's actions are the result of losing his son to the Taliban, and John's actions come from motivation to find IED locations and go back home and stop putting his men in danger. Meaning, the character drives the plot forward. Moving along, the protagonist's actions lead him and Ahmed to great lengths from safety. When John is hit in the head, Ahmed makes the decision to help him out. Seeing how far Ahmed is willing to go to save John is very compelling, because from the beginning we know what his motives are. We feel empathy for him and root for him to succeed. We want to see him complete the mission so that he can save his family by getting them visas. After feeding his son, he doesn't want to fail his wife and his soon-to-be newborn child. It is why when Ahmed is in hiding, we feel distressed and worried for him. We follow John through his struggle on getting people to honor their word and get them visas. But seeing how the system failed, he takes it upon himself to save Ahmed, to honor his word and the system that put him in that hole to begin with. I really liked the cinematography in this movie, and felt it captures the story well. There were several wide shots, to my likings, and multiple long takes, also to my likings. There were also several moments when the camera slowly zooms in to capture a character's reaction and then zooms out, back into reality, out of their mind. That was an interesting choice, of which I also liked. And with the music, we are thrown into the world with the heroes as they do everything they can to return to safety, while being hunted by the Taliban, of course. The music isn't overpowering the visuals to make us feel more than what the imagery is. It builds up on it instead of competing with each other. Lastly, the acting. The acting was pretty phenomenal in this movie. Both Jake Gyllenhaal and Dar Salim did a fantastic job. It really helps build up the tension and drama when John loses it when contacting support to get Ahmed his visas, for example. You can really feel their emotion through the screen and follow them in their plight, even when they seem to have a static emotion. Usually when the camera does the zoom in out motion, we feel like their emotion changes. We follow their emotions as they stare closely to the camera. We can pick up their emotions, their thoughts. Overall, this movie demonstrates the hardships both US troops and interpreters went through during this time. Not based on a true story, but on true events. This movie captures the essence of intensity and suspense as we follow our heroes. There wasn't a boring moment or one where you begin to doze off because you're invested in these characters and root for their success.